Hey everyone, and what is going on? Well, the chair's empty tonight. I'll tell you all about Gavin's little trip in just a few minutes. Let me say hello to some nice folks that's been in here. Jason K, what is going on? Hello to you. Michael Nice, what is going on? Jason K, Bob Horoyd. Let's get this party started. I hope I said your last name right. If I didn't, forgive me. Yeah, let's get this party started. Steve P, what's going on? Hey, from Phoenix. Hello out there in Phoenix. Thanks for joining us, by the way. Oh, let's see. Jonathan Falls, what is going on? Happy March. Yeah, March 1st, right? Dirk Connor, hello. What is going on with you? Walter Walker, good evening. Ryan Hemming, what's going on? Bronco 78. Steve P. Let's see. Happy trails. Oh, yeah. Where we Let me go ahead and put that up there. Gavin's probably watching this. So Gavin had his orientation for his new school for next year. This stuff rolls out early. So tonight was the night. Becky said he was a little nervous, kind of had the shakes there because it's a big deal. Gavin's been going to, well, he's only had one school his entire life, and he graduates from there this summer or this spring, or yeah, I guess summer, and then he heads to his new school, and that's the school that he'll be at until he's a senior, and then launch from there. But it's definitely a cool experience. But not having him here, I'm kind of lost. So bear with me, right? Just bear with me tonight. I don't have the co-host, and I don't have somebody talking to me in my ear to keep me straight. And check this out. Look, I was overlanding for fun. I haven't seen you in the chat in a while. I did text you earlier because overlanding for fun, if you haven't seen, go to his YouTube channel and also check out his socials. He's doing some cool stuff with GMRS, and I have been, I talk about comms all the time, communication all the time. Where Gavin and I went camping last year, we were in a valley and we had no cell reception or no cell service, and I didn't like that. I felt kind of, let's face it, you need to be able to communicate with the outside world, right? So I've been talking to Tim on and off about getting something other than 2 tin cans and a string. And I was thinking about a CB, and I think I'm leaning towards GMRS and maybe even a handheld device. Now, I do get it, even in a valley, there's limited range, things like that. However, it is better than nothing. So, got to go from there. Let's see what's going on. Tim, Brian, the Gavinator. He is the Gavinator, and right now he's at a restaurant with his lovely mother, and they're oh, look, there he is. I see why you said the Gavinator there. Gavin Cotton, there he is. He's watching this. So I hope you guys are enjoying that favorite restaurant we go to. Don't say the name of it. All right, Gavin, what is happening? Yeah, so it's pretty cool. I might have to send them, Gavin, if you let me know when you guys are on the road, maybe I'll send your mom an invite if I can do it while we're live, and maybe you could chime in if I can do it all at the same time. Just gotta bear with me, folks. Bronco 78 said, I have the handheld GMRS. How do you like it, Craig? Or how do you like it? What limitations do you have? Would you do something different? I think from what I understand, mounting one to the Bronco is nice, but it's also one of those situations where, yes, you have to go through some, you have to mount the antenna, no big deal, right? Where it can go on the where the ditch lights mount, but you have to wire it in. You have to determine, do you want the controls on the mic itself and hide the actual radio up under the dash, or do you want everything where you can see it and get to it? That's the question. But if a handheld's going to do anything near the same or give me the same reach or communication or, to the outside world, that's all I'm looking for, then, I want to do it. Even if there's someone in the valley, but further down either way. I know we're going to have to be limited over. And, who's to say that you're not out there all by yourself anyway? So we'd have to go full on, Rambo survival skills. But we will see. Let's see. Ryan Hemming said, anyone else find a good way to carry MTBs on your Bronco? I do not know. Maybe someone in the chat can know. I'm going in 60. What's going on? Thanks for joining us. Gavin said, 35 minutes until we leave. Now you've got it down to like the minute, right? So you guys are, yeah, you're much more organized when I'm not there. I see how it goes. Only problem with handheld is I have to remember to charge it and put it in whatever vehicle I'm driving. Other than that, I mean, so those are things that I would have a challenge with, I should say. Remembering where it is. Let's see. Coasty Reed, hey, thanks for the invite from Kroger today. Oh, there you go. Yeah, so check this out. Yes, so you're very welcome, very welcome. I did talk to someone. I don't normally, approach people in their vehicles, but I saw this really cool Area 51 Outer Banks soft top Bronco, and I went up and said hello, and there it is. Coasty Reed, was nice meeting you, by the way, and thanks for joining in. I told you we do these every Wednesday night, so I wasn't kidding. But yeah, we have a lot of good stuff here and a lot of good conversations. I'm trying to find something that I missed here. Where the heck did I find it? I think we have, who do we have in the chat here? Hang on, hang on. Oh, Andrea, what's going on? Thank you. We appreciate you. Thank you for that super chat. Thank you very much. So grateful for that. Oh, wait a minute. Here we go. Steve P. Race red is what I'm waiting for. All right. Dave said, Dave in Ohio, 2-door 2020 Bronco red. Bronco 78. It's not. Okay. Here we go. This back to the GM, right? So I want to cover this communication stuff because I do want to do something before we head to Super Celebration East. It's not for long distance communication, but great for riding with groups. And that's kind of what I'm looking for. I think I'm going to be limited in the long range for what I want to do. I also don't want an antenna that's going to, fry the old noggin here too close to the cab. But I do want some means of communication. If it's handheld, I'm good with that. It's easy. And who knows, one of these days I will just, go full sat phone or something like that. We're landing for fun. So here's who I want to get this opinion from in my first parks. In my first parks on the air. Sorry, I can't have to read this. In my first Parks on the Air video, I made contact with a station in South Africa. I did see that video, by the way, and I can read now. It's focused. It was a 7,755-mile contact with ham radio. Got it. Yeah, that is very, very impressive. Okay. Coasty reset right on. Got me thinking about those dang window switches on the whole drive home. Yeah, so we were discussing the switches. In your Bronco, your window switches to raise and lower the windows on the console itself, and I think that the thinking behind that was, and help me if I'm wrong. I mean, I didn't think this through other than, well, if you take the front doors off but leave the back doors, you can still control them. Well, I guess theoretically they could be controlled on the door if they were there. So it's interesting, but I think the difference would be if you're in the driver's seat or the front passenger seat and you take the two front doors off, then you would still be able to control the back windows up and down if you put them on the console. Versus if they were just on the door, you'd have to reach around to the back door and raise and lower it. I haven't thought any more past that. So it definitely is a unique place for the switches there. I do want to talk about some other stuff tonight. Ford Authority, as usual. I'm not screen sharing them tonight, but they have a lot of great articles. Today's just like one of those very rich days there for content. The Ford Bronco DR review roundup, Coyote V8 powered monster. So I guess some different people in the press got to take the DR around for a spin, and said it looks like a race truck, sounds like a race car. It's fast, it's loud. The 5.0 V8 Coyote, of course, it has that unique sound, and this is, I guess, they're building 50 of these. It's almost a $300,000 vehicle, so it's going to be definitely limited on that. And you have a lot of money to buy a vehicle that you can only use off road. Uh, there'll be someone that collects it because obviously it'll be a collector, and then someone's going to lay down 300,000 and they're going to tear it up. They're going to roll it. So, but I think this is definitely like a race truck. Unless it's a terrible accident, you're going to be able to fix it and go from there. I guess if you have a lot of money and you just want to have a lot of expensive fun, that's probably the vehicle to do it in. So the 37-inch BF Goodrich all-terrain tires. This thing handles great. I wanted to share it. I didn't get set up. I want to share something else with you. But the suspension, I mean, it's a race truck, right? This thing is off-road race. It's cool. I don't know what you think about it. It's probably it's I don't think it's that big of a deal for most of us, right? Because if you're not going to buy it, then well, it's nice to talk about it. We were kind of hoping a V8 would show up in the Bronco one day, but because of the CAFE standards, it's limiting on what they can do with V8s, and I think that's reserved. The Mustang has taken a lot of that high average out off the MPG. So, I mean, and let's face it, a Mustang GT, Dark Horse, or any other special trim needs that V8, and it needs to be able to pound some horsepower. So I think something like this off-road only, it's, I don't know. I just think that it's cool, and I'd like to see one. I'd love to drive one, Ford, if you're watching. Hello, emails on the channel here. But I would love to be able to drive it. However, I don't know. I just don't know. Anyway, so I guess the DR now is pushing over 400 horsepower. It's a hot rod. It's a race truck. We're at 100 miles per hour. The ride's utterly liquid, as this article says, over in Ford Authority. By the way, if you want to read this article, go over to the Ford Authority. Since I'm not sharing it, check them out. Great website. Articles, absolutely awesome. It talks about how fast it is, how much power, how good it sounds, but also at a very high rate of speed, how comfortable it is for a vehicle off-road going that fast. So I think it would be fun to drive, and I would love to have an opportunity to do it. In tonight's Bronco Basecamp live, of course, but we are going to talk a little bit about some other brand of vehicles, notably GM. I don't know if you've heard where they're going to idle a truck plant that builds roughly 1,500 trucks a day. They're going to idle it for a couple weeks, and that is to help with the inventory, right? So instead of the last 3 years, we've had low inventory. Now what's happening is they're starting to build more than that perfect 30 to 60-day inventory, and so they're going to slow the plant down, let some of that inventory burn out. I don't know what your thoughts on that are. It's either really good business sense. I mean, it's good for the investor relations, but maybe they think or they know something on the economy for the next, 6 to 12 months that they want to keep inventory low. Or is it one of those deals where they're out of touch with the people already paying on average $49,000 for a vehicle, which is up over $12,000 in, I think, just over a year. Now, I did get several different numbers. If you go online and look, what does the average vehicle cost? Some are at 42,000, some say 46, some at 49. I think what happens is some companies break out EV and ICE, right? So they have gas-powered engines, average, electric, average, and I don't know if they put hybrids in that or not. But this article may have just put all vehicles together. That's why the number is a little higher. But either way, when you're pushing almost $50,000 in an average vehicle, you're really starting to limit, and then interest rates on top of that, you're starting to limit how many people can, buy a new vehicle, or they're not buying the vehicle that they really want, having to chase the price a little bit more to match the interest rate and the payment. So, and you're starting to see longer term loans and things like that. I don't know what your feeling on that is. Is it disconnected, or is it good business sense? Or is it a little bit of both? I don't really know. Getting back to Bronco relevant stuff, though, that navigation, the removal for navigation, I guess now is optional. So the way I read this article, you can get navigation or you can omit it. It's not like, well, it's just going to come with it. So you're back to being able to pick what you want, right? versus last year it was cut because the chip shortage. So as the chips microprocessors are starting to free up, inventory is starting to build. It's not back to normal, but starting to go in the right direction. Now you're starting to have more options in the Bronco. Speaking of the Bronco, if you have a 22, your temperature, the temperature display in the temperature knobs on the climate control, they did away with the number on that for 22. So it's back for 23. We reviewed the Outer Banks Azure Gray one, and they're back in that. Yeah, I've seen articles where somebody said they're coming back, but it was cool to see it again. So if you have a 22, you have that rare year that it dropped it. And as of right now, obviously with 3 years in, it's the only year it's dropped out. So that's something to do there. And we're going to go over to Ford's website here and try to find some parts that we want to buy. We're going to do that live here so you can see how to use that. Also, the Heritage Limited logo is now available from Ford. So that is that's pretty interesting. Let's go back to the chats here. Since I don't have my co-host scanning these, Gavin, I hope you're enjoying dinner. Let's see. Dave said Trotwood outside of Dayton. Okay. MTBs, mountain bikes. There you go, Ryan. Yep. There's a few different options with on the back, off the spare tire, bumper, obviously the hitch mounted ones if you have a hitch. The Bronco thing, one of the commodity shortage was the hitch. So a lot of people ended up not getting the tow package. So you might not be able to go that route. But I think there's some different options. That might be something that we look in for a future show, maybe next week or the week after. Let's see. Bronco 78 amateur radio. Chat. Let's see. Hey, and I appreciate everybody in the chat tonight. Thanks for watching. I don't know if you saw what I posted over on our Facebook and on YouTube community section, but we had a lot of views in we had a whole lot of views in January. So getting back to the number right now, was it 63,800? I think it was. Either way, if you were part of that, we greatly appreciate it. Yeah, let's get back to the numbers here. I don't know if anybody has Verizon. It's been kind of slow today, at least here on the East Coast. 65,818 views in January. So for every one of you watching right now, if you're watching later on the replay and you're one of those views, thank you so much. It's humbling to get those kind of views in 1 month, and we greatly appreciate you. Let's see what we've got going on in the chat here. Anyone seen the Bronco truck 2024? I don't know if you're talking about the rendering. Let me know what you're talking about on that. Is it the rendering or the concept for the truck, what the truck would look like? Who knows if they'll ever build that? I mean, it'd be nice, but I think Ford has their hands full with the 10 trims that they have right now. Sorry, folks, my mic dropped out there. Let me know if you can hear me again. When I become president, I am going to sign an executive order putting the V8 on the endangered species list. I hear you. Broncos say, you just got my vote. Yeah, there you go. We'll start voting for you right now. Go ahead and make it official, Tim, and we'll get in line to vote for you. I'm going to 60 said GM is not selling trucks. Yeah, they're I guess they say they have a 60 or a 30 to 60 day inventory, but who knows? Who knows? Yeah. Oh, Tim said GM sells trucks. Yeah. I'd go with their overestimated their sales. Yeah. So Kosi Reed said, I'd go with they overestimated their sales, higher interest rate markup economy. Yeah, and that's a good point. who knows what the real story is, but I think that also you keep the margins higher by keeping inventory low, supply and demand, basic economics. Also, dealers tend to do a little bit better. Um, you know, the issue that I have is everything costs more. Wages aren't obviously keeping up with inflation, and so people are being squeezed, and we see it every day in business. So, that's the part of me. I just think that maybe we could keep it I don't know, try to keep the price down as much as possible. Throw the inventory out there like you were doing pre 2020. But I guess they've seen that there's a new way to do business now. I don't know. And maybe, like I said, maybe it's just very smart accounting on their part. I have no idea. Yep. And by the way, Bronco 78 said it here. Thanks for saying that. Hit the thumbs up. If you haven't already, please hit that subscribe button. I'm really going after 4,000 subscribers between now and next Sunday night. And I hope to get there. If not, get there, get really close. Have a couple really cool videos that we're going to be pushing out. And I definitely would love the support there. Jason K said it as well. Hit the like button if you have not. Thank you. I appreciate y'all saying that. Andrea said, I navigate by the stars. I hear you. That Bronco Raptor, man. You have to let me drive that thing soon. We need to do a review on that, by the way, Andrea. I put you on the spot. Warm weekend coming up. Keep that in mind. Dave said, I'm using Google Maps. My son works for them in Detroit. Awesome. That's a pretty cool job. What's the view to dollar ratio? Michael Nice said, cool. Sound is good. Thank you. Yeah, once in a while, the software we use drops, at least on me, it drops the audio out. Never really figured that out. We're blaming it on a computer that one of these days we're going to upgrade. I have my eye on the Apple Studio, and it's expensive, right? So trust me, we're getting there. If somebody wants to do like a $3,000 super chat, yeah, no, I'm just kidding. TJ Miller said, wife spent her Ford points from her new Bronco on the Ford website for floor liners. Not sure how long you can do that, but I'm glad they're offering it for now. So, TJ Miller, we spent quite a bit of our Ford points getting various things. We got a couple of the cargo nets, and we got some of the rocker panel, the covers there, the threshold covers. They're okay. They look good on Becky's Bronco because the I think it's like a titanium color, and that eruption green really goes good together, but they don't cover a lot of the area. So, it's one of those things where if you're really going to keep that area scuff free on the clear coat or even on the paint, you probably need to get something else. So let's try to see if we can share this screen here, my friends. Let's hang on. Let's do this. Hey, and I appreciate everyone watching. We have, I guess, over 25 right now watching, which is a good average for us. And I appreciate each and every one of you being here. Hit that thumbs up for me if you don't mind, and we'll get this thing going. All right, what website are we on? I think we're on, yeah, here we go. So if you go to Ford.com, obviously you can build your Bronco, one of the 10 trims that's out there, or you can go to the accessories section. And I highly recommend you checking out. They are starting to add more and more stuff. And there again, TJ said it great. So you have your points with Ford. You can go to the website, work with your dealer. I think you could probably deal with it directly here. I know we deal with our dealer on this, and you can cash in some of those points and get some of these cool accessories. So the Aeroskin 2 black textured trail arm hood deflector. I don't know what your feeling on that is. Do you like that look? I think that the white and black really looks good together there. I don't know how it looks on, say, eruption green. It probably looks really good on race red. I don't know about hot chili pepper red. I keep getting the name confused. So maybe certain colors. I don't know about Area 51 either. I'm trying to think of it on my Bronco, my 21. I don't know, but something like that. It's not a very expensive part at all, and if you're trying to keep those rock chips on that hood down to a minimum, well, there you go. You also have the 21 through 23 Molly Grate system for the swing gate. So in lieu of the fold down table, that you could do this. Now there are some individual bags that you can clamp to the table, or attach to the I guess the perforated area, the slots in that table door. So it'll still hang on the door. Of course, when you drop the table, they would dangle down below it. I don't think that's an issue, but that is a possibility. You can do that as well. And we're not going to go through all of these. I'm just hitting some of these things here that really draw. I'm looking for that logo. If somebody knows where it is, let me know. I can't see the chats here. Uh-oh. Got some LOLs going on the screen. What are y'all talking about? Let me try. I'm going to try to get to my chats over here on my cell phone. Gavin, I hope you're enjoying dinner, my man, because I need your help right now. But now you guys enjoy dinner while you can. So while that's cranking up there, and there's the switches right there in the console. But I do, they have that locking lid for the console there. It looks like some power accessories possibly in it. Now here's the one thing I've never been able to get. I don't know. I see them on like the cactus or not cactus gray, but cyber orange, and it does look pretty good there. But the front corners, the front and rear corners, the exterior trim, so the trim trail armor, I understand why that's there, and on certain trims it look good. But there again, on Area 51, hot chili pepper, I don't know if I'd like it or not. And there's of course the cargo basket, those are always really nice. And there's a corner, and they show that cyber orange Bronco, and there's the corner trail guard, the armor pieces as well. Now, I will tell you one thing that's nice is this cover right here. So if you take the two-door full vehicle cover for the soft cockpit, so you remove the top, you can easily put this down. I don't know how well they hold up in the heavy rain or in the wind, but it's a cool option. I know Dave was talking about that Monday night on his show about, take the top off and the pop up thunderstorm. If you have something like that, it might not be 100% leak free, but at least it would shield a lot of the water. Now, if you get a lot of rain, and it's only good when you're sitting there because obviously it can't drive with it. So we'll see what's going on. All right, in the chats here, what do we have going on? Yeah, Michael Cooper said it looks good on Cyber Orange. I do agree with that. TJ Miller said, I have that hood deflector on my Velocity Blue, matches in the Black Diamond grills perfectly. Yeah, so there again, certain trims, right? Good point about the grill. Certain grills that may match up. I've just seen certain, the color slightly different than the rest of the trim, and it starts to look like an add-on. So if it matches everything and it contrasts with the paint that's on there, it's definitely a good option to do. Altering Nation, hello. I just saw your howdy comment. Hello. Yeah, but I think as we get closer to Super Celebration East, I think when you get there, be probably, at least my experience, the biggest Bronco event to date. You're going to see all types of accessories. One Bronco that has one of everything is Bird Dog Overland. I think he's probably got one of everything on there. I'm going to head back over to the comments here. I need a Bronco 78 said, I need a waterproof cover for a 78 so I can leave the top at home like I used to. Yeah, there you go. And look, if you go there and you need a hand taking the top off, if you're going to take it off there, let us know. We'll help you out with it. Sure. I'll volunteer everyone I know. But yeah, we can help you get that off as well. Well, let's see what's happening here. So the other thing, what are we going to talk about tonight? We're going to talk about something else. I wanted to see, let's get back to Ford's website here before I completely get off of this. So if you were looking for a logo, where would you go on Ford's website here? I'm just interested to know. Let's see, filter by. What are we going to filter by here? Price? No, not going to do that. I don't know. I don't know what we're going to do, folks. So anyway, hope we don't get some sound pop up in here. I'll have to jump off of that pretty quick. So Bronco, chassis, electrical, miscellaneous. Sorry, I know you guys are seeing this thing jump around on the screen pretty fast here. Bear with me. Don't go anywhere. Well, it definitely wouldn't be in electronics. I wouldn't think it would be interior. Exterior, here we go. Should be here, right? Now this is, I hope it's here because this is kind of like all the rave here today. And it's not here. Oh, it's loading. Sorry. Getting ahead of myself here because I was trying to, and I have a video I want to show you as soon as I get back over on our channel. I know you've seen it, but I want to talk to you about it. Now, what we're doing is just scanning through the site here. You can see different things. It's kind of funny. They have the Maverick over here. Bronco 4-door rear door bags. Well, I think what they need is a new release or something like that. Look, there's 57 pages. I don't want to go through it. Maybe next week we'll go through that and we'll try to find that logo. But it's pretty cool that the Heritage Limited logo. So if you want it for your Bronco, there you go. If you are the owner, soon to be owner of a limited Bronco, what do you think about that? Are you happy that they're going to be, selling that? Or because if you remember, they had the old school script out there, and I think Ford put the brakes on that being sold, which I understand now. They were bringing out the Heritage the Bronco Limited, which is going to have that old school script there. So, like, all right. But anyway, let's see. Dave, get your comment. I paid $330 for the cockpit cover when I ordered a flimsy. I have a cover from Best Top for the Jeep. Very nice with a made for Bronco. Gotcha. Yeah, there's other options out there, of course, but if you want the Bronco branding on it type thing, Ford's definitely where to go. But if you're just looking for a cover, which most people just want to keep the weather out, then yeah, I'm sure you can find something somewhere else. Bronco 78 said, I'm eventually going to get a soft top for my 78, but it's not at the top of the bucket list right now. Yeah, I think you want to do some drivetrain stuff, don't you? Some engine, maybe that type stuff. Of course, your Bronco sounds great. The one thing about the 6 gens, we were cruising up the mountains, and we have the either 2.3s or 2.7s, and they all have that unique sound, which I'm good with it. And then you heard Bronco 78s, echoing off the side of the mountains and the trees, and nothing like a V8 sound. So, if nothing else, it was good music for us. See, TJ Miller said, I saw a dealership on eBay that was selling Heritage grills. Yeah, so I don't know if you know the story behind that, but Mike, if Mike's in here, I won't say his last name, but if he's in here, he found someone on Facebook that apparently these grills were put in the Ford's parts store or on the parts list. They were put in there pretty early. I mean, way before the Heritage was even announced. And this person bought a few of them, and of course ended up selling some. And so I know I've seen one on a Broncos. It was pretty sharp. Of course, now that you see the Heritage come out, you get it. But that was I don't know if that was calculated, if it was just a tease, or if it was an honest mistake. But either way, there's some people out there with them. Now, can you buy them now? I don't know, but they were available and then they weren't. Now maybe they'll reintroduce them, and maybe that was the idea. They were going to introduce the grills like the logos, but after the Heritage was announced, then they started building them. So pretty cool there. And I think some of these things are accidents, and some of them are clever marketing. And so you don't ever really know which one it is until, well, maybe never. All right, so let's head back here. I am going to change over where we were sharing from. Hang on. So this video is on my website, of course. I don't know if you've seen it, if you've watched it or not, but if you haven't, let's watch this video and tell me what you think. Just be honest. Did you know about this or not? All right, let's give it a shot. Back to the channel. So today I'm going to show you something on the Bronco navigation system that you may or may not know about. And if you know about it, carry on. And if you don't know about it, I think you're going to like it. Check this out. Okay, so what you want to do, if you want to see the weather radar displayed on your infotainment screen, you want to go to navigation, check weather. So Becky's going to hit that navigation. And when navigation comes up, you'll see the stuff over here on the side. You want to go to menu. And when menu pops up, you'll see map orientation, voice, traffical map. You see everything you see right there in front of you. What you want to do is hit weather. All right. So once you hit weather, you'll see current weather, weather at destination, and then radar. So hit radar. Now, it's going to be kind of strange today because, well, there's no weather in the area that we know of. And so right there, you'll see that there's nothing here. Obviously, the video would work better when there's a storm coming. But right here, if you had rain in the area, you'll see everything displayed on here. You'll see where the rain is, how heavy, it's green, red, yellow, whatever. So if you didn't know, see right there, radar map. If you didn't know that your navigation on the Ford Bronco has weather radar on it. So anyway, so tell me what you think. I'd love to know in the comments. What do you think about that? So I think my daughter knows I'm on a live stream, but she keeps blowing the phone up here. So I'm just bear with me. I'm going to have to text her and say, "Hey, I'm on my live." Live YouTube. Gotta love it. So anyway, what do you think about that? I'd definitely love to know in the comments. Did you know it was there or not? Oh, wait a minute. I need to get some of these comments here. Let's see. Where are we? Okay, here we go. I'm gone in 60 said, didn't know about the radar. That was a cool tip. Thank you very much. I definitely appreciate that. Jonathan said, I saw the video, was a nice piece of info. Thank you. And I was kind of thinking, am I the only person that didn't know it existed until a few weeks back when I was playing around with it and said, hey, wait a minute. Andrea said, learn something new every day. I do as well, my friend. I do as well. That is for sure. Now, I'm concerned that you're listening to Lionel Richie. Look, that was the green Bronco. I don't know what was on the old radio. And what's wrong with Lionel? I like Lionel Richie, man. Come on. Michael Cooper said, I saw your video and didn't know that you could see the weather radar. Very good. Now, what would have made it even better if there was a storm in it, you could see it on the screen. But I do have a short on our channel as well, to where I was playing around with it and looking at the radar. It showed all the green, and then I'm looking at the sky, and yep, it's correct. It's raining. But I think it's pretty cool to be able to see that, And here's one of the things too. We have our phone. We have weather on it. It's great. But if you're driving, you don't want to look at the phone. You want to see the infotainment screen. That's why it's there. Just use that. And who knows? It's nice to have a way to check the weather in a backup form. What if your phone? What if you dropped it in the water while you're magnet fishing? And Gavin, if you're watching that, don't let that happen. But what if you have it there? So it's pretty cool to see it, and I just think it's interesting. If you have the 12-inch screen, it's massive there, and all that color on the dash. It's pretty cool. So we're digging around. There's some other stuff on there that are unknowns, and we're going to drop the videos here and there. I did think about doing it as a short, but you really in 60 seconds can't go through, the details how to get to it. So I'm glad it helped, and I appreciate that. But anyway, so because Gavin's not home, Becky's not home, and my daughter needs to fill up her car tonight, I'll be cutting tonight just a little bit shorter, but not quite yet. I definitely want to know in these accessories that when you go, are you likely to go to Ford and get the accessories, or are you looking, aftermarket? And there's a lot of companies out there that are providing a lot of really good aftermarket parts. So, what's the plan? I mean, is it just when you see something you like it, you buy that part? Or are you loyal to Ford with the aftermarket, or who do you go to? A lot of bumper selections, for example, are dependent whether you have Lux or not, because if the part of the adaptive cruise control is affected by certain bumpers that you put in, and certain bumpers, I think they're working around that. and it's changing so rapidly. There may be a completely new solution to that, but that's my only hang up. If you think about Lux, if someone asked me, should I get Lux or not? If you're going to change the sound system anyway, just go with a high package and do a sound system if you don't like the factory one somewhere else. I got Lux because of the B&O. Also, I thought the USB ports in the dash were pretty cool. I wasn't really worried about adaptive cruise control. I don't particularly. I don't like it. I don't like how there's no throttling when you're on the interstate and it slows you down behind a vehicle and it hits the gas again. I ease into the gas, like that. But hey, that's how they designed it. But I'm not a fan of that. However, I was a fan of the B&O and a fan of the USB. And so with a high package, you can get the 12-inch screen if you want the bigger screen. And hey, if you want some louder music, well, just do some aftermarket stuff. And by the way, I did talk to a guy. There's a local audio sound system pretty close to us. And he was telling me that people were coming in saying, well, they wanted more bass or they wanted a louder, just overall richer, louder sound in their Bronco. And he talked them into doing some type of, sub in the back, and that was taking care of a lot of their problems. So, um, you know, I don't know if you really have to change everything out. I don't really know. So if you want to change the entire radio, that you can, or add that subwoofer or whatever that you want to do. So, I have no idea if it's even really needed. I can tell you that we have been happy with the B&O, but I also don't listen to the music, really, really, really loud either. So, um, it is what it is. I'll tell you, doing a live stream when you're at home by yourself is a full time job. Gotta love it though. I appreciate you being here. If you haven't, hit that thumbs up for me and subscribe to our channel. Help me get to 4,000, or help us, because we're like a community here. Help us get to 4,000 subscribers. When you hit these benchmarks, not only does it do a lot for you, you want to do more content and get it out there, but it really does help in the old YouTube algorithm magic, whatever they got going on. All the all the cool stuff that happens behind the scenes. So 4,000 is our next stop, and I appreciate each and every one of you, of course. Okay, so the last comment there we go. TJ Miller said, we ordered aftermarket side steps this week, and they go Rhino, RB20, slim steps, Ford steps don't have many options. I agree. So some of them, you're absolutely right. There some of the selections are kind of narrow, so I do get that. And that's the thing about when you deal with these other companies. There's so many different variations, possibilities, and styles. Right? Some companies figured out that this design doesn't really work that well, and here's a better tweak to it. Or certain components are better for if you're out rock crawling, and certain stuff for sand, I guess. I don't really know, but the type of terrain that you're going to, also the trim of the Bronco that you have. So, Pilgrim Wanderings, well, welcome, my friend. I haven't seen you in the chat in forever. Been a while, but great to catch up. Looking great. Well, thank you very much. I definitely appreciate that. And yeah, look, yeah, we miss seeing you in the comments. So it's awesome. I'll tell Gavin, if he's not watching right now, tell him that you chatted in. Let's see. Oh, is Nick? Yeah. Oh, there you go, Nick. What's going on, Nick? I didn't see you in the chat here. Oh, wait a minute. We have a difference of opinion here. So Tim over at Overlanding for Fun, the adaptive cruise control is the bomb. There's our buddy Nick. What's going on, Nick? Thanks for joining tonight. Thanks for the chat, and hello to you too. We're gonna get back on that picture thing with your Bronco. I want to show that Bronco sometime, and who knows? I think the computer ate it, but we're gonna get back to that in the future. TJ Miller said, depends on what the accessory is. I like the Ford floor liners, for example, especially the cargo liner, and it covers the entire trim piece. Yeah, and I like the rubber mats for the back. You have the gray, the bucking horse, there. I just think that's a cool touch. It adds to it. So yeah, I definitely like the rubber floor liners. Now we did order those with our Bronco when we ordered it. So Oh, here we go. We're going to try to bear with me. I'm going to try to connect Gavin. He's on the road right now. And Mom, if you're listening to this, make sure the radio is turned down, please. We are going to try to send an email. Let's see. Bear with me, folks. Bear with me. Hey, chat among yourselves if you don't mind. Let's see. Oh, that's not it. So this is when you need a co-host and a producer to keep talking and doing this. Bear with me. Bear with me. I'll try to get Gavin in here. It'd be pretty cool. Here we go. My wife has different several different emails to deal with. So I think I got it to the right one. So anyway, so getting back to the accessories, and there's like I said, there's about 30, I think 31 if you look at all the different socials and YouTube. Thank you all for being here. By the way, hit that thumbs up for me and subscribe to the channel if you don't mind. But we are going to get rid of this screen sharing right here. All right, cool. So but getting back to the accessories, I am easing into altering the 21. Now we do the very next thing that we're going to be doing are the hood struts. So we had a manufacturer send us some hood struts a long time ago, and I apologize to them for not getting it out there. But you will see these, and they're very cool. The way they mount, it's not the easy on to easy off type thing. This one requires a little bit more attachment, but I think it is a really, I think it's a really good option. So here we go. Hey Gavin, make sure that the radio is off, okay, buddy? I'm getting ready to connect you.
You there? You there?
Actually, I almost banned you from the studio. I don't have audio, Gavin.
Why do you disconnect it from here? Okay. How do you? Can you hear me?
Hang on a minute. I'm working on the edit the mic. Hey, somebody let me know in the chats. Can you hear Gavin? Because I can't see a thing. Here we go. Nick said, I'd like to get those hood struts for my 1978 Bronco. Yeah, and when you see them, I think they're going to be very cool. Yeah, we're going to try to reconnect Gavin if we can. Let's try to do this here if we can do it a little bit better way. We're gonna try to get Gavin connected. So anyway, we can finally say it. The hood struts, the way they mount, and I'll show you the video, but they're gonna mount at the bottom where a lot of them mount. But when they mount to the hood, it's a little bit different setup. So I really think it's one of those. It's one of those deals where the longer you want them to last, the better the hinging, the ability. You know, it's going to take a little bit more work to put them on, but I think you're going to like these. Not a big deal. We'll probably put them on. It'll probably take us 30 minutes because we're filming, maybe a little bit longer. But the filming always slows it down because you want to make sure you get the right angles and show exactly what you're doing. So watch out for that. It's going to be pretty cool. And I don't know of anything else, but okay, Bronco 78 said I could hear them, but it was spotty. They are out in the country right now, so it's a little bit hard to hear them. And Water Walker said hood struts should be standard equipment on the Broncos. The added price would be nominal. I couldn't agree with you more. All right, let's try to add Gavin one more time, and I'm going to have to mute my mic to see if I can hear him. Hang on one second. Gavin, can you hear me? All right, so hopefully,
Gavin, can you hear me?
Hopefully, love the reverb here. I think they're in a bad area, and we just don't have enough cell signal for that. So anyway, maybe we can get Gavin in here a little bit. Kosi Reed said I can hear him. The funny thing is, I can't hear anything on my end. So That is unfortunate. So who knows what's going on? But let's see. Oh, here we go. Bronco 78 said, Dwayne, are y'all bringing both Broncos to Supercell this year? Yes, we are. Definitely going to have both of them there, so it's going to be fun. Jason K said, wish it could go to Supercell, but I'll have to be at the Daniel Boone National Forest same weekend next year. We'll plan to be at Supercell. Well, it'd be nice to see you there, but yeah, have fun doing what you're going to be doing there. I think we're going to, I'm going to try to head down a day earlier this year than we did last year. We'll see if that works out. Gavin and I wanted to do some fishing, freshwater fishing there. There's a lot of streams in that Townsend, Tennessee area. Just cool stuff to do. If you want the amusement stuff, the museums, restaurants, there's Pigeon Forge, Wares Valley Road on the opposite end, maybe 30 minutes away. And if you want to do the outdoor stuff, that's over at Townsend. So you have whatever it is you want to do. So I think I'm going to try to do that with Gavin, and then we'll see. But who knows? But getting there and seeing, I guess my point of talking about everything at once was I was trying to get Gavin in here to add his 2 cents worth. But the accessories that you're going to see somewhere like at Super Celebration East, they're going to be, I think, probably one or two of everything, right? So you're going to be able to see all of this different, this you're going to see the bumper that you've been thinking about, but you wanted to see one on a Bronco, or the hood struts that you were considering, but you don't know exactly how they're going to work, or if you're going to really like them, or if it's worth the time, the money to do it. Or what about the aftermarket top? Somebody's going to have something there. So you're able to see these parts and pieces that you're considering or you're on the fence about. And when you see them, it's either going to say, yeah, you're going to say to yourself, yeah, let's do it. Let's get them done right now. Or, maybe not. Maybe I didn't like it as good as I thought I would. And so that's the biggest thing about going to somewhere like Super Celebration East. But as far as the parts, the aftermarket parts, you can watch their videos on YouTube, see the different things on socials. You can also see other Broncos around town, and you can get a feel for, do you want to spend the money? Number one. Number two, does it add the value that you want to add? Now, that value may be because it looks cool, but a lot of times it's because it's performance related, right? Type of winch, suspension parts, strengthening up the steering, or whatever it may be. So it's what's your why? Is it the looks? Is it the looks, or is it the use of it, or the actual increased use? So I think we're going to try this one more time with Gavin here. So we'll see if it happens. And Gavin, this will be the last attempt here, because I know everyone's probably like, geez, get on with the show. But I appreciate you being here tonight as well. Thank you very much. I think I'm doing all right with no host, right? I'm trying to manage other things, but Oh, right. Okay. Overlanding for Fun said it well, function over flash. Now, some people love the look, some love the function. And I'm kind of like function first, but if it looks cool, that's a nice value add. Yeah, Nick, I hear you. It'd be more fun with the Bronco there. One, and I agree with you 100%. One of the reasons why Gavin and I didn't go to Wisconsin is because we were going to, fly in and rent some vehicle and go there. And I just thought I would rather do that Supercell West, because bigger event there. Hang on, Gavin. I'll try to bring you in just a minute. But we just saved our money there. I'm probably doing something wrong on my end. So Gavin, hang tight. Are you there, Gavin?
Alright, so I was watching the stream and from my iPad the stream can hear me, but I cannot hear you and you cannot hear me.
All right, so hey, Gavin, this is not going to work because I guess you're just really still pretty far out. It's pretty dark in that Bronco. You know that? But might not be the worst thing in the world. You do lose some visibility from the front camera, but there was a rumor, and I'll tell you, the rumor was someone at Ford that I talked to up in Detroit when we were there last year said that they were either thinking about it or working on a relocation for that front camera. Now, I do know Mountains to Metal, I think, has something like that. You can go to check out their website as well. You may be able to find it there. Um, Pilgrim Wonder said, I love the function over flash approach. I'm transforming my OBX to a OBX Black Diamond, Masha Steely's MIC fender flares, and planning on or for a pizza cutter for the future. Yeah, so let's see. I am looking forward to seeing the pictures. Yeah, and so am I. That'd be pretty cool. And I'm starting to see the Broncos that are really starting to switch things up quite a bit. Different, totally different style wheels. Tires are tires. There's a few selections out there that you typically see people putting on the Bronco, at least for off-roading. I'm not talking, tires for just street use and give it that, you know, wider appeal on the street. But for the off-roading enthusiasts, you're seeing you do have the good years that come on it, but you're seeing a lot of the BFGs, Nitto. So companies like that. So anyway, hey Nick, see you. Thanks for the comments. Thanks for tuning in. Appreciate you being here as usual. And thanks everyone for being in the show tonight. Let's see, well, it's been an hour. It's been an hour, so I'm going to be going in just a second. I want to go back through some of the comments. I want to make sure I didn't see anything. I'm going in 60. Yeah, low volume. That's what I got too. So I know you could hear them, but it wasn't that great. Let's see. Anyway, but look, I want to know, Van City Adventure. Hey, what is going on? What is going on? So, I think when it comes to the accessories, I'm just really, I don't know. I like the Bronco so much the way it is, and I know you can put it back. If you put something on, it's nothing but money, right? If you don't like it, take it off, put it back on. And I think that's one of the reasons why the hidden winch in the front. I don't, like I said, I don't want to chop the frame. That's just me. But I think everything else that you put on there is pretty reversible, right? I mean, I wanted a light bar, but I keep hearing horror stories that they make a lot of noise, even though I haven't had the luxury of riding in one for a long distance to see how much noise that adds. But that was one thing that I wanted to do, but I backed away from. But I definitely want the fog lights in the bumper, and I want the ditch lights for mine and the winch. And I think if I do that, I'll be happy for a while. If you look at what we're using that Bronco for camping this year quite a bit, and so yes, it's finally getting muddy. It's gotten sandy, but it'll get muddy this year. But what I'm doing with ours is a little bit different than say somebody is doing hardcore off-roading. So getting back to the function over flash, it's also what are you doing with your Bronco? What's that use going to be? And therefore the parts, the accessories, the pieces need to match that use, right? For the best use. I mean, it's common sense stuff, but I am seeing, Broncos with wide street tires, but they're off-road, and so it's like, wait a minute, you've got a tire that looks really cool, that adds a cool stance to it, but it's not necessarily the tire you want when you're off-road. So and we did talk about Tim said a dirty Bronco is a happy Bronco. Oh, well, I definitely agree with you there. I have the pod lights up top and noise is not bad. Okay, good to know. Good to know, because I'm definitely interested in adding some illumination to the Bronco. So, when the headlights are bright, no problem. But when you're out on the trails, you need light higher up. You also need it to the side. You want to really gain that visual in the front. So lights for me is a huge. Let's see. Okay. Yeah, check out Pilgrim Wanderings on Instagram there. So definitely see some pictures of the Bronco coming up. Bronco 78 said, mine has not been driven in forever. It's dirty, but not happy right now. Okay, so there you go, Tim. Not all dirty Broncos are happy Broncos. So they might have some little stuff going on there. So Bronco 78, I mean, we're like, what, 47 days or so away? I'm not giving you pressure or anything, but and there's some stuff that I want to do to our Bronco. It's just not going to happen this year. I'm just happy to get out of everything that I see every day. I just can't wait to go somewhere for that almost a week. So it's going to be fun. So if you get a chance to go to Super Celebration East this year in April, it's coming up here, like I said, just over 45, 6, 7, whatever days. I can't count. It's going to be fun. It's going to be a good time. And look us up when you're there. Hope we have some great conversations, great memories, and who knows who all we'll see. Well, look, everyone, I'm going to be wrapping it up tonight. My daughter needs me to go to the store with her. And, as you could tell, Gavin's on the road with his mom. So we're kind of, Overlanding for Fun said, have you reached out to Photobomb Steve? Honestly, I don't know if I ever got his information other than he knows at least my YouTube channel. And I think he knows yours. And who else would he have known? I think that's it. But no, I have not heard from him and do not have a way of getting a hold of him. But wouldn't it be fun to have him on the show? Of course, if he was on the show, he'd be in front of you 1 minute he'd be behind you. And that's how this guy rolls. So Photobomb Steve from Tennessee, if you ever watch us, you watch this live or on replay, definitely connect with us. It was fun. Yeah. Just take a picture and he'll show up. For those of you who don't know what we're talking about, there was a group of us there at a restaurant taking a picture of all of our Broncos lined up. Becky's Bronco, mine, Tim, Andrea, Bronco 78. Geez, if I'm forgetting somebody, don't hate me. But we were there, and this guy pulls up there, hanging out the window, dog hanging out the window, just kind of photo bombs us, right? And so that's where the name came from. And just one of the coolest people you'll ever meet, random person that you meet. Hung out with us for a couple of days. We had a blast. So that is the experience. If I can sell Super Celebration East to you at all, it's not all the, there's all kinds of cool Broncos there, people you get to meet, you watch on YouTube, you like what they do, you don't like what they do and you want to talk to them about it or whatever. It doesn't matter. But the kind of people you meet there, it's just a cool time. So, and they're not a sponsor of the show, so I'm just being honest with you. Jason K, later everyone, have a good night. Thank you, Jason, for tuning in. I definitely appreciate that. Yeah. He might be in this picture right here, Bronco 78, where I can't even point backwards, right here. By the way, and I know we're getting ready to go here, but for those of you just tuning in, if you're watching live or on replay, that car in that picture behind me is this car right here. And we're working on a re-release of Driven, the book. So I'm going to be probably asking some favors in the future. We'll probably do a live stream to all of the channels when we do that, and it's going to be pretty cool. That helps our channel out. If you go to drivenwildgear.com, pick up a copy of Driven, and I think it'll help you out too, because it's a very cool story. So if you're looking to be motivated, or if you just want to know how focus works and the results of it, you get to read my story. Can't promise you it'll work for you, but it worked for me, and that's the story. So anyway, enough of that tonight. Yes, I had a guy riding around town help me find the parts. I might as well put this up here. Bronco 78 said, yes, I had a guy riding around town help me find parts for my 78 when I had a fuel issue when I was there. Yeah, I remember that. Yeah, and that was so cool. Somebody just randomly helped you out with that as well. So, and you have a bunch of friends there. So if you have an issue, or you have, you reach out to any of us. I can't speak for the other guys, but I guarantee you they'd show up. Yeah. That is the kind of people that are there. Absolutely. Yeah. And so if you're on the fence about it, take the time off of work. You only live once. You only get this one go at this stuff. Go enjoy stuff like that with the family. I can tell you, Becky didn't really think she was going to like it. And after a day there, she liked it. And so she had a really good time. So that was awesome for me to hear, knowing that she would go back, again. And it's just a fun time. You get rid of all the normal stuff, and that's it. So anyway. All right, everyone. Well, look, I'm out. I am grateful that you're all here. I definitely appreciate you being here. Let me hit one more. Okay. All right. I had a private chat there. I had to see who that was. I definitely appreciate you being here. Hit that thumbs up for me if you're watching live or on replay. Subscribe to our channel if you haven't already. Look, I look forward to this. Next week, I'll have a guest here, I'm sure. Either it'll be my co-host or someone by phone, in person, by video, or whoever. I don't care. We're going to have someone here. So anyway, I appreciate you all being here. Oh, here we go. Bird Dog Overland said, "Night, Dwayne. Sorry for being late. Hey, I'm just glad you showed up. Thank you. Hit the like button for me if you don't mind, my friend. We were talking about you earlier in a good way. Pretty much, you have the Bronco, the one of everything Bronco. So if you want to see how that accessory looks, look up Bird Dog Overland there at Super Celebration East, and there's a good chance that he has on his Bronco what you're thinking about putting on yours. So, all right, everyone, I'm out. Thank you for being here. Appreciate you. See you next week. Watch out for some videos dropping this week. See ya. Bye.